We would like to begin today's matriculation ceremony by acknowledging that we are on Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. This territory is covered by the treaties of peace and friendship, which Mi'kmaq, Maliseet, and Passamaquoddy peoples first signed with the British Crown in 1726. The treaties did not deal with the surrender of lands and resources, but in fact recognized Mi'kmaq and Maliseet title and established the rules for what was to be an ongoing relationship between nations. Now, as some of you may know, Mi'kmaq History Heritage Month will soon be upon us. And many of us, I hope, will be taking part in the activities and resources to honor and learn about the cultures of the first peoples of this place we call Halifax or Chibuktuk. The day before October 1st, Treaty Day, marking the beginning of Mi'kmaq History Month, is the September 30th National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. I encourage you, in the context of this land acknowledgement, to participate in the many activities taking place all over Chibuktuk, and to attend here at King's the release of the 4th edition of the book, We Were Not the Savages, by Daniel Paul, Mi'kmaq elder and historian. Now, preparing for today, I got to wondering what exactly matriculation means. It is a kind of resonant word, so maybe you were kind of curious too. Now, a quick glance at the Oxford English Dictionary confirms the meaning most relevant to us today. That is the process of admitting a student by inserting their name in a register. But there are figurative senses as well. From the act of enclosing or giving origin to something, to the place or medium where something is developed. Matriculation, we might say, is the ground upon which a network of relations are developed. What this says to me is that as we matriculate today, by adding our names to the current and historical communities of kings, we also matriculate on a particular ground, land, or territory, and in doing so, we enter into a network of concrete and embodied relations to one another. Now, in that context, perhaps it isn't quite enough to engage with reconciliation in kind of more abstract ways, important those may be, at the level of policy decisions, getting ourselves educated, funding allocations, and the like. Perhaps the point is to ground those abstract engagements in personal relationships. So insofar as reconciliation between Indigenous and non-Indigenous people in this country is a political project that will occupy us for generations, let us also seek to help it happen every day between and among us as peers, mentors, and friends. Walalin, thank you.
Welcome to the ancient and solemn ceremony of matriculation, which marks your formal entry into the college as student members. This ceremony, a form of which has been celebrated for more than 2¼ centuries at King's, and for many centuries longer at the great universities of England and Scotland, is named for the Matricula, the large register that will record your names. We have here an original version of the Matricula. Please don't write in it. It's from 1802 and is housed in our library treasure room under the custodianship of the keeper of the register, Ms. Tracy Van Feste, university librarian. Our master of the register is the registrar of the college, Julie Green, who's also here with us. In a few moments, you'll be asked to recite an oath in Latin to express your desire to enter the college and your willingness to observe its traditions. We use Latin, the universal language of learning in the West since antiquity, to remind ourselves that the community of scholarship we enter is larger than our own circle of friends, our college, and our country, as well as older, connecting us to the minds and spirits of generations past. Those minds and spirits are represented materially in our library, which houses the Matricula, and their echoes are heard almost every day in this very room, where students can absorb, re-embody them, and give them new voice, accept them, reject them, or put them on critical probation in their conversations with each other and their tutors. In pronouncing a formula in a language once taken to be emblematic of universality and inclusion, we might reflect too on the voices that have been left out, lost, or suppressed as we embark on a journey of learning that creates new knowledge in us, even as it makes us aware of what we don't or cannot know. So, I'm going to ask you to repeat after me each line of the oath, which will appear behind me on the screen as I pronounce it. Yes? I guess I'm in control of that. That's up to me. There we are. I'm speaking of me. Ego. In universitate. Collegii regales. Discipulus sancte policior me. Legibus paritorum. Traditionesque meliores. Eius culturum. Ita ut praeceptis eius convivendi eruditionesque oboidiam nec non ipsius academiae dignitatem atque salutem quantum in me fuerit per reliquam vitam pro curaturum. Remarkable. You've been practicing since September 6th, apparently, not before that. Beautiful. Scito vos in matriculum collegii hodie relaturos esse, et ad observandum omnia statuta hoc libro comprehensa, quantum ad vos spectant tenere, know that you will be entered into the register of the college and are bound then to observe all the statutes contained in this book as far as they concern you. You have pronounced the oath, and I will now hand things over to Julie Green, our registrar.
Hi there, it's such an honor to participate today and see you all in this classroom and to take part in this oath where you kind of officially join the academic community that is King's. So welcome on behalf of the Registrar's Office. And we just wanted to provide a little bit more information about what's next. The Matricula that you will all be signing will be in the atrium of the A&A. So you just go in the main entrance that you usually come in on the way to Prince Hall, and you can sign the Matricula there. If you're not able to do that today, you can also drop in at the Registrar's Office at any time, and Kirsten and Brandy and Jen, who've been communicating with you about today, will also send out a follow-up email in case you have any questions or want to set up a particular time to come in. There's also going to be a reception upstairs, which we really encourage all of you to attend. So again, welcome, and I will now pass it over to our president. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, so you've taken your oath, which is another way of saying that you've made your promises. And on behalf of the university, my role is to respond, to officially admit you into the University of King's College. And unlike you, I have to pronounce this Latin without the cue cards that Dr. O'Brien provided to you. So I'm going to do my best. Lectoro tate mea admitio vos discipulos in universitate nostra collegii regalis. Suete leges preceptque, foete traditionis eius preclaris. So I know you have the words in front of you, but I feel more comfortable if I also do it in English. By my authority, I admit you as students in our University of King's College. Keep her rules and precepts, cherish her excellent traditions. So you are now matriculated, and I appreciated Vice President Cliff's elegant explanation of the word matriculation. So you are now a member of the college, or you're now members of the college, not only in English but in Latin. And you can't get any more official than that. So I know you've been here for a couple of weeks, but congratulations, and once again, welcome to King's. It says on the back of the program that matriculation signals the joint commitment of the institution, that's King's, to the education of the enrolling students and of the student to their responsibilities as a member of the community. And I want to just reflect for a few minutes on the reciprocal nature of the commitments we have made to each other, you to the university, and the public orator and myself in our response to you. So according to the oath you have taken, your responsibilities require your obedience to the regulations and best traditions of the college. This is a somewhat old-fashioned ceremony, and there's no better indication of that we're asking you for your obedience. That little qualifier, however, the one that says your commitment is only to the best traditions of the college, is crucially important. We are a university, a place of learning, questioning, debate, and re-examination, not just about the world outside of King's, but also of King's and its history. In recent years, to give one example, the tradition ended of having a room named after Thomas Chandler Halliburton, an early graduate who became one of the most famous authors of the 19th century in the English-speaking world. It ended because the anti-black racism that was an integral part of his novels was contrary to our values. And we also have adopted new traditions, including the way we now recognize in our land acknowledgements, like the beautiful and thought-provoking one Dr. Clift provided, that we are here as guests of the Mi'kmaq under an obligation to be good guests. When we think of the traditions of kings, I think we tend to think of this ceremony, our formal meals, how we like to wear our gowns as often as possible, and some of the events, the recurring events of student life, like the April Fool's Day water fight in the quad that was resurrected by last year's first-year class. These are the traditions we tend to feature on our website and that we talk about when we are telling prospective students about kings. And these are indeed cherished traditions, and I hope you and future generations of students will preserve them and enjoy them. There is, however, a more fundamental tradition that lies beneath each of these more specific traditions, which is artfully implied by the language of the Matriculation oath in its reference to regulations and traditions that have a certain effect. Quote, they serve the precepts of communal life and learning. So, by definition, a university in the ancient tradition beautifully invoked by our public orator is a community. And from its beginning, King's has always thought the strength of the university lies in the strength of the community that exists between and among those who belong to the university, all who belong to the university. To put it another way, the greatest of our traditions is the one by which our identity is defined by our mutual commitment in every generation and across all generations to being a community defined by friendship and belonging. It is these themes, friendship, belonging, and community, that alumni of all ages speak of when they speak of their memories of Kings. So these are the precepts of communal life and learning that I find most inspiring about my own commitment to Kings. And they are why your oath is to each other and really to everyone, as well as to the university as an institution. And you will decide what these precepts mean for you during your time here. But as I did on move-in day, I urge you and all of us to let kindness be your watchword. Extend the hand of friendship to those around you and take it when it is offered, so that all can enjoy the feeling of belonging that is the very fiber of what is now your university. Let your guiding star be a determination to do your part in ensuring that no one is left out or behind in the community you are in the process of building with each other, your upper year student colleagues, your faculty, the staff, everyone at King's. Let us together aspire to make this not only a friendly community, which I hope you find it is, but also a loving one. And in doing all that, in your studies, outside your studies, and combined with your studies, your time here will help you to prepare for your future. You will have noted that your oath asks you not only to obey our best traditions, but our regulations. And I want to suggest to you that although we do have regulations, they are best understood not only as rules, which they are, but also as the commitments we make to each other as members of a community, our community, members of a community who are committed to each other's safety, wellness, fulfillment, success, and happiness. So these commitments are bigger than our rules. They include the principles, values, and practices we follow to keep each other and our community safe and healthy and thriving and inclusive for everyone. In this moment, at this time, I want to stress that our commitments to each other include all we are doing as a community under the leadership of many, including Jordan Roberts, Katie Merwin, Sarah Cliff, the KSU, Victoria, and many others, to prevent and respond to sexualized violence by creating a pervasive culture of consent and respect. building on all the work we've done towards this goal in recent years. So one other thing of note, I don't know if you thought about this when you were saying the words, but each of you has promised to care for the honor and welfare of the college, not just for now or a short time, but, quote, for the rest of my life. Yeah, indeed. That is quite an extraordinary promise to have made. I don't know if you had legal advice or not. It's an extraordinary promise, at least if you take it seriously, which I hope you do. And my response to you, the response I gave to you a few moments, implies acceptance of that promise, and it also provides a reciprocal promise. In admitting you as students of our university, the language of matriculation signifies that the university now belongs to you as much as it does to me, my colleagues, or the generations who have come before or will come after you. The language signifies that in addition to being students for a time, you are now members of the college for all time. That is why, or that is the alchemy of matriculation, and why, in my opinion, it's different than registration. In the spirit of that alchemy, the college now and in the future must live up to the commitment you have made to its honor and welfare. And on behalf of the college and all who succeed me, I promise you the college's dedication to this responsibility, to being worthy of the commitments you have made to King's. So among that commitment includes our understanding, the university's understanding, that caring for the honor and welfare of the college is not the same thing as always expecting to be praised and celebrated, though I hope you do find much to praise and celebrate. Caring also requires criticism when criticism is due. And I'd like to paraphrase Sarah Sharp, one of our most recent valedictorians, to say caring for the welfare and the honor of the college means understanding and accepting that criticism is an act of love. And so that love means calling on the university to be better where it has failed or disappointed. And this is and must be, in my opinion, because we are a university, one of our best traditions, referred to in matriculation. And this is very important as we prepare to observe the second National Day of Truth and Reconciliation that Sarah mentioned earlier, and as we not only reflect upon, but work to build relationships with all the communities who are underrepresented in our community, including the Mi'kmaq and all Indigenous communities, and the African Nova Scotia community, and the wider African Canadian community. So, we have made our promises to each other. To seal the deal, please follow the urging of the public orator and the registrar to take the next step of engraving your signatures in the Matricula so that forevermore it will be clear to everyone that you were a student of our university and then continued as a lifetime member of our Collegii Regalis. So I hope this evening is fun and even a little magical for you. On your behalf, I want to thank everyone, the many who have had a hand in creating this evening. And I look forward to seeing you all at the reception to be held in your honor immediately after we leave Alumni Hall on the second floor of the Arts and Administration building. And to get there, you will pass the Matricula, right? And you can line up, but also you can go to the reception and come back down and sign the Matricula when there's maybe less of a lineup. Thank you very much for participating in this ancient and important ceremony, and I'll look forward to seeing you at the reception in just a few minutes. Now, you remain seated as the procession leaves, and it's an opportunity to practice in academic ceremonies. When the procession leaves or arrives, you all rise, okay? And we'll see you on the other side, as they say, okay?